Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about Degrassi next class. I don't have a pen. Today we're going to be talking about Degrassi next class anyway. This is going to go pretty quick. We don't have a lot of friendships to get through, but we will be talking about them today. So let's jump into it. So first we're going to start off with Yael, Lola, VJ, Boz, and Hunter with their YouTube channel, All Inclusive. Yael and Lola definitely had a very, very cute friendship. They were always there for each other. Yael was there for Lola when Lola got her abortion and went with her and was there for her throughout the whole thing. And then Lola helped Yael figure out her identity, figured out their identity, figure out how they identify. Just letting you know, Yael does go by they, them. Sometimes I slip up, but for the most part, I'm going to be trying to say they, them. So Lola helped Yael with their transformation, their identity journey, which was, you know, very heartbreaking because Hunter, of course, did not accept Yael's new gender identity. Hunter, VJ, and Boz were all close until Hunter obviously didn't accept Yael, and then there was that wedge, but for the most part, they were pretty close friends, and VJ and Boz were, they never had a rift between them. They were all kind of close. Boz going on a date with Yael to make Grace jealous, kind of put a wedge between them, but, you know, for the most part, all of them were close. Yael and Boz, again, going on that date, kind of put that wedge between them, but they were still friends from what I know. Frankie and Esme. Frankie and Esme, I feel like they were good friends. I feel like that it started out as a good friendship, trying to make Frankie, you know, helping Frankie get over her breakup, helping her feel more badass, take the power back. But then I feel like then Esme only wanted to use her to keep Zig, and that's not a healthy thing to do. And Frankie was actually trying to help her, but, you know, Esme was, you know. Frankie and Goldie. Frankie and Goldie, they were pretty good friends. They were in the volleyball team together. We didn't see many interactions with them, so I mean, that's to the writing. Yeah, so I don't really know much to say about that. Frankie and Tiny. Frankie and Tiny were friends because he was dating Lola and then he was dating Shay. And again, Frankie and Tiny didn't have too many interactions. Of course, when she started messing around with Esme and Zig, then they had a couple more, but they never were really close friends. Goldie and Rasha. Goldie and Rasha were adorable. They lived together and they were just really close with each other and they understood each other on a deeper level that I feel like Goldie had never been understood before. But Rasha also let her know that it is okay to let loose and have fun every once in a while. Goldie and Zoe. Goldie and Zoe was super cute because Goldie eventually did help her get with Rasha. And Goldie and Zoe, like Goldie was just so accepting of Zoe no matter what. And that was really sweet. And Zoe needed someone like that. Grace and Lola. So Grace and Lola were kind of friends. They did the protest together. They kind of were friends, but they also didn't have many interactions beside the protest. So Grace and Maya. Grace and Maya had been friends for a while. There was, of course, that little bit of a rift in season 3 because Maya wasn't really telling Grace what was going on and Grace wasn't really communicating with Maya either about what was going on. So yeah, Grace and Maya were really good friends though at the beginning. They've always been really good friends since the Rubber Room. And in next class, they just seemed to get closer and be sweeter friends. Grace and Tiny. Grace and Tiny, obviously since the Rubber Room, they had always been close, but next class is where Grace really did connect more with Tiny and Zig, and, you know, Tiny was dealing with his own relationship stuff, but he was still there for Grace as well. Holly J and Liberty. I just put them here because they were friendly at the reunion. That's the only time we see them. So Holly J and Liberty didn't know they ever became friendly, but apparently they did. Hunter and Boz. So Hunter and Boz were friends, and he obviously told Boz about when he got an erection for Lola and things like that. So he did confide in him things. But then when, you know, a lot of things had happened between Hunter and Boz, but out of the group, they were probably the two that weren't the closest. Hunter and VJ. Again, Hunter and VJ were shown as friends, but they weren't really that close from what I could see because there weren't many interactions. Maybe they were like sitting next to each other in class and talking, but like nothing beyond that. Jonah and Maya. Jonah and Maya were in the band together and then they just stayed friends. And I feel like Maya needed a friend like Jonah to be like when Zig kept texting her when they were in New York. Be like, turn off your phone, focus on your goals. Zig is not important right now. And I feel like she needed that person to kind of keep her centered. Lola and Frankie. Lola and Frankie had been friends since season 14. And they only got closer. Obviously, Lola ended up telling Frankie that the father of the baby she aborted was her brother Miles's child. And just everything. Like, they just shared pretty much everything to a point. Some things they kept from each other, but Lola keeping that secret about Miles was probably good at the time. But she eventually did tell her. And Lola was... like Shay and Frankie were very supportive of Lola, which was nice to see. And when Frankie went missing, Lola got a text from her mom, you know, meaning they were still close and they were on the volleyball team. Lola and Goldie. Lola and Goldie, it just showed when they were in the volleyball team. They didn't have many interactions, so I don't know how deep that friendship was. Lola and Yael. Lola and Yael, I already kind of talked about it. You know, Yael supporting Lola through her abortion. Things like that of that nature. So about Lola and Yael, just know Yael goes by they, them. The main things about their friendship that I loved is Lola helped Yael figure out their gender identity and go through that journey with them. And Yael supported Lola through her abortion. I'm going to put this part of the video there, because I feel like this part explains it better than me fumbling during the video. So if you see me, it's because that's the best way to explain it. Maya's band consisted of Maya, Jonah, and Grace. Where to go? Well, Grace and Jonah started dating at the end, which I didn't really agree with, but Maya was close with both of them. And then when Maya went through what she was going through, Jonah seemed to be the only one to notice that Maya was going through something. So I guess I would say that Jonah was closer to Maya, even though Grace was still pretty close with Maya too. It's a mess. Maya and Goldie. Maya and Goldie were pretty cute friends. They kind of worked together in the feminist club, and they had Maya perform Not Okay as the feminist anthem. So they were pretty close friends. Maya and Peter. Obviously, Peter is a mentor to Maya because she works at his studio. She got the co-op. Yeah, like he was just kind of giving her advice and, you know, seeing that, kept telling her she was going to make it far in the music industry. Maya and Tiny. Maya and Tiny had been friends since Rubber Room days, and they just stayed close, like, especially when she was dating Zig. They just stayed close. Maya and Zoe. I like to see that Maya and Zoe were finally actually friends, and they were actually talking, and Zoe did give her good advice about, you know, if you want to be in the music industry, you have to play well with the men that run the industry. Miles and Grace. Miles and Grace are kind of friends. They got closer when they worked on the play together. And then from that moment on, it was just kind of like whenever Tristan was involved, they were all friends. Lola and Miles. Lola and Miles were friends for one season, and that's because what had happened. But they were really good friends, and I'm kind of mad at Degrassi for messing it up because they were really cute friends. Miles and Winston. Miles and Winston had been friends since season 13, and they just seemed to get closer, honestly. You know, and you know, Winston was helping Miles figure out his stuff with his dad and stuff with Tristan. Paige and Marco. We see them together at the reunion, meaning they made up after Degrassi Goes Hollywood, and that was really nice to see. Peter and Sav, they're seen playing together for the reunion, then they drop out of playing the school theme. But yeah, Peter and Sav, they're still friends. Maya and Sod, I don't know if you really call Maya and Sod friends. They were more acquaintances because, you know, he was taking the pictures with her, but I don't really think they were friends. Shay and Frankie. Shay and Frankie were friends, except then they stopped being friends in season 2, rightfully so. They stopped being friends. And then Shay got advice from Tiny to forgive Frankie. So then she did, and they became friends again. Shay and Goldie. Shay and Goldie, again, it's only shown on the volleyball team, and even sparingly so. Shay and Lola. Shay and Lola had been friends since season 14. Again, they had a little bit of a rift when it came to Tiny, but after that, everything was fine. Spinner and Sav, seen at Peter's birthday party together. Obviously, they're still friends. And we have just a few more names to get through. So, the Rubber Room, Zig, Maya, Grace, Tiny. We haven't talked about Zig much. He'll come up later, but I've talked about the other 3. But Zig and Tiny were very close. Zig and Grace were very close. And Zig and Maya ended up dating, obviously. I talked about it more in season 12, their friendship. Season 11, too. Tiny and Jonah. Tiny and Jonah weren't really friends. They were more like acquaintances because he started dating Grace, and they didn't really have many interactions. Tristan and Grace. Tristan and Grace had one interaction when she went and she said, "Hey, you're back," and she hugged him, and then beyond that point, I don't know. Tristan and Maya. Tristan and Maya have been friends for a long time, and they stayed friends. And Tristan even gave Maya the, you know, all the music used to be fun for you. Like, music used to be fun for you, and like tricked her into playing music again to get her back to what she loved doing. Tristan and Zoe. Tristan and Zoe had been friends for a while, and of course, she was helping with his campaign in the beginning at season 1, so, you know. VJ and Boz. VJ and Boz didn't have many interactions as well. They were like friends, but they didn't have that many. VJ and Yael. Again, VJ and Yael didn't have many. They mostly focused on Hunter, Yael, Lola. Those are the ones they mostly focused on. VJ and Boz were kind of pushed to the side a lot of the time. Winston and Rasha. Winston and Rasha were cute friends because Rasha knew that Winston liked Goldie. And so she was also dating Zoe, who was friends with Winston, so. Winston and Tristan. Winston and Tristan were only kind of friends because of Miles. That's literally the only reason why. Winston and Zoe. Winston and Zoe, again, they dated, but then when she came out to him, he was like, "Look, you know, you should be yourself. Everyone will love you." And so he helped her come out of her shell, and so he supported her through that. Zig and Grace. Zig and Grace were really good friends, and I feel like, you know, that they would have been really good friends if he didn't start dating Esme, and I feel like they would have kept that friendship. They were still friends, but it was like a little iffy at times. Zig and Jonah. Zig and Jonah weren't really friends to begin with because he didn't like the fact that Jonah was in Maya's band and Jonah was going to New York with Maya and all this other stuff, but they eventually did become friends when, you know, he was dating Grace, and they became friends and all that. Zig and Tiny. Zig and Tiny have been friends since forever. They were always friends. Zig, when he was reeling about Maya, Lola didn't give the best advice, and Tiny was like, hey. Tiny tried to give Zig advice on getting Eswally active. Eswally active. Eswally. You know, Sexual. I just feel like I wasn't Eswally active. I guess that's how it's done. I don't know. I'm trying to like censor it. You know what I'm trying to say. Zig and Zoe. Zig and Zoe, they had that let's make Maya jealous moment. Oh, well, she was doing it for Grace. And that put a rift. But Zig and Zoe, after that, they were never really friends. Like, they were just kind of acquaintances. Zoe and Grace. Zoe and Grace, I love how close friends they were. I hate that they made Grace play with her feelings. I hate that they made, you know, Zoe play with Grace's feelings. And I just hated how Degrassi, like, messes up everybody. But those are the last groups. So, you know, I'm a little scatterbrained today. There's a lot going on. I'm finishing up Christmas presents. It's the month of December. Crazy time. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please tell me who your favorite next class friendship is. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.